Favourite capture is carp that I caught from this lake we're at today. Just come for a look. It's a small lake, 5-6 acres, snaggy, weedy, crystal clear. Quite a good head of carp in it, good head of good ones now. We're in deep Essex, right along the A12. It's a real known one for the area, everyone knows about it. A lot of people have caught it, it's a friendly one. The lake back in the day used to be rock hard, and there's like a handful of carp in here. The old boys that used to fish here, they kept it secret, it was all overgrown, no one really knew about it. And then if you did find out someone had actually caught one, you were like a hero. It's back in the early 90s, well before I was fishing. And so we've all got a massive history of it. It's about low 20s then. So it's just come up through the ranks. Quite a few of my good friends caught it. The fish in here are just something else. The shoulders on them, they're all proper. Some of the oldest we have along the A12. They're like, some of them don't ever come out, because it's like a manic lake. And then you can get loads of bites as a good head. Some of the better ones don't get caught. The backup's had its moments, but it's the busy days only lake on a club ticket. It's great for dropping in and out after work, just for the last like 5 hours, or even last 3 hours sometimes, because your bite time is at 10 o'clock. You've got to be in that car park, and from 9:30 onwards is your bite time. And it's great for a bite. So you come here, get a bite, and chance of a whacker. So I loved it in that aspect. Caught a couple of the better ones along the way. Caught one in January. Well, I actually thought that was the big one, but that's a story for another day. I caught another one called the dartfish, that's the second biggest. And I'd been fishing an area in and out of work, catching the odd one, and this one time it turned up, I see it in the snag to the left. I was fishing out in the pond, it turned up in the snag to my left. I see it and I thought I've got to have a quick go. So I had 3 or 4 evenings on the trot, and I think it was a Saturday, so I kept the bait going, kept getting the bites regularly. Every evening I was getting a bite, and it was a Saturday, I was piping hot, and it was there. It was in the snag. I was confident. I thought I've got a good chance tonight, but I thought I'd be scratching for a bite, like 10 to 10, 20 to 10, that time. 7 o'clock in the evening, the rod's away. I couldn't believe it was roasting. Picked up the rod, beasted me to hell, and that turned out to be the netted that, and that was the dartfish, the one I'd been seeing in the snag all week. So that was cool. He's a cool one of the oldest ones in here, and one I definitely wanted. From that was in the summer. I don't think it was I fished a little bit in the spring, a little bit through the winter. Caught a few as well, nothing major, doubles and 20s. And then it was the following spring, I thought, I did my work party, I got to fish it in May, and I thought it was worth a go. I booked some holiday off work around the full moon, had a game plan. It comes to the bait, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter you put, but it just comes to it. It loves the easiness of bait and regularly bait. So that was the part of my plan, was to bait and wait. It was boring, but it was great. I was keeping, as long as I had lots of bait out over my areas, it was real close range, just underarming them out. I was just throwing handfuls of 16 millers in, because it's quite a steep shelf. I thought they're going to rather roll down, or it's just going to sit there, not have to move, and just munch. And that was my plan. And like I say, they were showing all down the other end of the lake. Oh, you know, I keep forgetting, always forget this bit. The only time I've ever seen it in the water was that day in that snag. That's the only time I've ever seen that. I always forget that. Someone else got down, beat me down one evening, a couple of evenings before my holiday come in, and he got a 28 pounder, unbeknownst to him, over my bait from the evening before that I was fishing over, and that was passing it, so I knew they were in the area. The actual day I caught it, I hadn't seen a lot out in the pond, I hadn't seen any showing, heard a few down the other end of the lake, and so I had a reel in about lunchtime, walked along to one of the snag areas just up from the swim, and it was there. The first time I'd properly seen it in the water. I'd had a few times, had it show on me, I'd had it, but this is the time it was there at my feet, and I was like buzzing that I'd seen it. Went straight back, got my rods out, because it wasn't that far from me, and I thought he knows where his food's been, or his dinner table is, so to speak. So I picked the rods back out. About an hour later, I hear a buzzer up the other end of the lake, and a guy catches one. I heard him talking, it was about a 30 pounder, and then with that they just started going one after the other, showing like hell. I could hear him sloshing out right down the other end of the lake, and I sat there and I was like, oh, I'm down the wrong end of the lake, all the fish are up the other end of the lake, what am I doing here? I need to move. I need to stick to my plan. I remember ringing Luke. I was like, mate, what do I do? I want to move because they're all down the other end of the lake, but I just know that it's going to come to the bait. He persuaded me just to sit there and wait, and if I didn't catch anything, move the next day. Thought it was all right. And I was at work the next day, wasn't I? And he said next evening, try an evening down there. I thought it was worth a go, so I sat there, bored as hell, drinking tea after tea, because I thought it was cool. And got to about 9 o'clock, packed all my crap away for the last hour. 9:30 comes, I'm like, oh, it's not going to happen. Still showing down the other end. I did another couple of bites. Packed all my stuff away, had a wee, looked at my rods, it was about 22, and just was like, time to go home. Went to walk to pick the rods up, and the bobbin slowly just jittery come to the surface, come to the top, not even like all the way, it's like 3/4 of the way. So I knew that was renowned for the bite. It didn't fight. So I just picked up the rod, and a real big, hairy wallow on the surface straight away. I straight away knew what it was, and it went to the left of the snag. So I just literally gave it a little bit, and as it's going to the snag, it just gave up, and literally just 4 or 5 turns, it was in the net. Head torch on, and it was the backup, yeah, 44.10 on the bait, all the fish down the other end of the lake. Such a greedy one, and yeah, very happy. I think it's been 2 years since I caught it. Still remember it like it was yesterday. And my mate's come, I made a phone call, Luke came down, Rob came down. Elle never answered his phone, which is standard. And everyone was there. It was great, great times.